Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and imagine a world, if you will, where everything you do is tracked, traced, and databased. Imagine a world where your medical records, cradle to grave, date of birth to your end of life, are easily accessible by anyone who has the right amount of money. And that information is not only coupled with that track trace database information, but also the algorithmic information provided by certain devices that are coming onto the market that go beyond Amazon Echo and your Google Home speaker. Now we're talking about Portal, where it'll have facial recognition, and it'll probably be in your kitchen, so it'll know all of your eating habits and your family's eating habits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, on top of the GPS information and other data garnered from your smartphones and more. Well, I got news for you, folks. That day is today. That day is today. And if you thought that your medical records were safe from what I call this growing, ever-encompassing digital nightmare technopoly that becomes more and more of a reality, grounded not just in fact but in data, entrenching itself into society daily. So Google just has, millions of your most detailed health records in something called Project Nightingale, working with Ascension, and we're going to get into all that everywhere. But you'd think that this would have been a huge story 2 days ago when it broke. Wall Street Journal broke it. Almost nobody was talking about it. I wanted to spend a day or two and see if anybody was weighing in, if there was more information that was coming out. The Wall Street Journal piece is very, very, very detailed. But this does capture the highlights here in a rather short and digestible manner. Let's read it. Google secretly gathered millions of patients' records across 21 states on behalf of a healthcare provider in an effort dubbed Project Nightingale, reports the Wall Street Journal. Neither the providers, doctors, nor patients were made aware of the effort, according to the report. And I know a lot of you people think that they're protected by HIPAA, right? Because people inherently understand that their medical information in the wrong hands could harm them, could be used against them, especially when we're talking about corporations. The Wall Street Journal's Rob Copeland wrote that the data amassed in the program includes lab results, doctor diagnosis, and hospitalization records, among other categories, and amounts, let me repeat this one, to a complete health history, complete with patient names and dates of birth, and that as many as 150 Google employees may have had access to the data. Now, let's look at that's a microcosm, the 150 Google employees. This is a larger issue. Although it is tantamount that, somewhere in that line of employees, corruption may occur. They may leak that information to the highest bidder. But who cares? The corporations that work with your governments, you see, it's not a face anymore. It's not like when we talk about the regimentation of all human beings, Roosevelt, FDR, he warned us about that when Hitler was trying to come to power, and he was trying to create his own new order, his own new world order. Well, this is the next level of that regimentation of all human beings, and it's coming through capitalism. It's coming through communism. It's not coming from one place. It's coming through an organization like Google that works with NASA, works with China, works with everybody. It's this. That's why I don't call it a technocracy, because it's not. It's a technopoly. We don't get a say. And all this stuff comes out, and what's done? Millions of your health data. Flick Off says, is YouTube cut the same for the stickers? I think so. As far as I know, it's 30% across the board for YouTube. Unless they've increased that. They still won't give me memberships. I don't even want to get into the offshoot. I appreciate the super chat. The offshoot of censorship on the internet. Because, hey, we're talking about Google, right? Google owns the platform you're watching right now. Let that sink in. I think they bought it for something like $8 billion back in the day. Remember, Google had that competing service, Google Video, right? But now, You're watching me on a platform where the parent company is secretly taking a mass amount of data. I'm sure it's just to help people. I'm sure they're not going to use it in a business perspective. I'm sure they're not already doing it with the Android operating system on your phone, right? Oh, none of that's real. I'm being totally and completely paranoid. However, it does look. By the way, this is the Ascension part. Okay, Forbes reports that as a part of Project Nightingale, Ascension uploaded patient data to Google's cloud servers. And remember, when it lives on the internet, it lives there forever somewhere. The idea was that by using the system, Ascension health providers could use a tool called Patient Search to pull up individual patient pages. According to Forbes, which says it viewed a presentation on the topic, the page includes complete patient information as well as notes about patients' medical issues, test results, and medications, including information from scanned documents. All right? I want to let people know this is it. This is all of it. Anything that they can get accessible. And once it's in the digital universe, not that, again, Google doesn't partner with certain aspects of the U.S. government, but every digital communication that goes across the web, whether it be Time Warner or AT&T or Verizon Fios, any of these things, Google Fiber, there is a separate room and has been since before the internet's inception. And it started with things called Norris Insight Systems. And in this room, all the data goes through that server and is copied. Listen, man, you got to understand. What is it? Digital information is cheap. They're not even this big anymore. It's the one in your cell phone. It had 512 gigabytes, half a terabyte. And that's old technology. They're keeping everything. And companies are going to get more and more access. And a lot of this, is just lip service. You notice they say it's the plan to collect. No, they did it. They don't plan. They almost make it sound like it didn't happen. No, it happened. And now, we have an official. The regulator told the paper on Tuesday that it had launched an investigation that will seek to learn more information about this mass collection of individuals' medical records and ensure the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, or HIPAA, protections were fully implemented. Do you think they were fully implemented in this case? Do you think the people wanted Google to have their entire health records, including notes? I mean, when I talk about the regimentation of all human beings, guys, I mean it. Go to my playlist. There are 2 films I've done on this matter. Invisible Empire. Go to documentaries. Shade the Motion Picture is, my film that not only shows you the power structures outside of what you normally see, featuring really just the Bilderberg Group, but then bioengineering and geoengineering and this idea of eugenics. And again, I'm going to repeat it again, regimentation of all human beings. We got to get past, man versus woman, gender identity issues, skin color, race, culture. Because I got news for you, yo. If you're not part of the predator class, you are an ant-like, minuscule piece of fecal matter they don't give 2 flying fucks about. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Italian, Irish, Bolivian, Ecuadorian, Somalian. It don't matter. It don't matter. They don't care about you. They plan on controlling you. And it's not just an Anglo-American class. There's going to be an elite at the top of all these different places. That is the Anglo-American Israeli Saudi power structure. That is why they're in such opposition to Russia, which is outside of their EU and NATO reach. You understand that? It's a reality. And they're going to use technology to do it while we're all fighting amongst each other on side issues. So guys, with that being said, if you like this video, now's the time to thumb it up. We're doing it 3 to 7 times a day here on all sorts of subjects. Coming up in a little over an hour, I'm going to have James Corbett of the CorbettReport.com on. We're going to be talking Edward Snowden And not just the importance of what he put out there, but the questions surrounding him and whether or not it's limited hangout. If you've ever seen the Edward Snow Job, it's a really good piece by James Corbett. So really looking forward to that. That's coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern. And of course, guys, with your help, I'm doing it. Without your help, I can't do it. So consider $5, $10, $15. Really would love to hit $5,000 this month. By the end of the week, I'd really like to get to at least $2,000 and show that, you guys care. And again, if you can't financially support me, totally get it. Try to get this information out there. Share it with others. Post it on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, anywhere you can. Because, I'm trying to come at this from a perspective that isn't partisan, that is not conflated, that does not have an agenda outside of promoting humanity, quite frankly. Okay? So if you like that, you appreciate it, consider donating. I love you guys. I'll see you in a bit. And I can't wait for James Corbett of the Corbett Report on the flip side.